Hi, I'm T1J.
Follow me.
So as you can see, I'm sort of putting together a little bit of a set here. It's definitely a work in progress, but I can show you around what we have so far. This is Edgar. This is Jay and Bob. This is my YouTube pillow I got at VidCon 2 years ago. This is Russell. Don't worry about that stuff at the top. That's just my medicine. This right here is a thing you can buy. This is a Rubik's Cube because I have found that being able to solve a Rubik's Cube is very impressive to people. So I want to signal to you that I can do that. And this right here, well, this guy I haven't really named yet. Maybe you guys can help me with that. So if you have any ideas for good names for my friend over here, drop them in the comments. And if you like the name, give it a thumbs up. And we'll see what you guys think. Anyway, today we are going to check the voicemail. So let's go ahead and do that.
Hi, I just finished watching your YouTube video on how to separate art from the artist. My name is Dan, by the way, from Tennessee. And I kind of had a follow-up question in regards to that. Like, for instance, okay, I've been struggling with something recently. Neil deGrasse Tyson, love him. He's the best. However, I read a Pathos article about a woman who had basically come out and said that Neil deGrasse Tyson sexually assaulted her, and none of this has been addressed by Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I'm left with this sour taste in my mouth of like, no, not Neil deGrasse Tyson, you know, how could it be? But then, you know, nothing has ever been confirmed. I mean, I'm always on the side of women here, but and to believe them, I just, you know, my gut reaction is to believe them. But with something that's unconfirmed like this, I don't know what to do with these feelings. So ever since then, I've just stopped consuming information from Neil deGrasse Tyson. I just, you know, like I said, have a sour taste in my mouth, and I just don't know how to feel about it. So how would you separate those feelings from, you know, the art in that situation? I don't know. Any thoughts on this would be very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for your message. So for those of you that have not watched my video about separating art from artists, you should probably do that first so you get a better idea of my stance on that topic. There's probably something up there for you to click, and if not, then check the description. I actually do vaguely remember hearing about a sexual assault allegation against Neil deGrasse Tyson, but I never really looked into it. And of course, there was very little discussion or press coverage of it. And I must admit, it's something that completely left my mind until listening to this voicemail. So for background, a couple years ago, Tachia Ahmet, a musician slash blogger, claimed that Neil deGrasse Tyson drugged and sexually assaulted her in 1984 when they were both students at UT Austin. This was virtually ignored by mainstream media and only reported on by independent blogs on sites like Science 2.0 and Pathos. But given the mad dash last year for major media outlets to report on the Me Too movement, this seems really strange. It's possible that Ahmed's story simply lacks what these outlets think is an adequate amount of evidence to consider reporting on it. Although, according to her Twitter, Ahmed has been in contact with the reporter at least as recently as April of this year. So maybe we'll hear more about it eventually. I don't know. Now, I've also been a fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson myself, but I don't know him personally, obviously, and honestly, I don't need to or want to know him personally. If I've learned anything from the Me Too movement, it's that assuming that the people who make stuff that you like are also likely to be great people is a mistake. I mean, it's awesome when they turn out to be, but there's no real reason to expect that. And for that reason, I think it's only practical to separate the art from the artist, or else you may not get to enjoy much of anything. Now, of course, if an individual person decides that they can no longer enjoy or support someone, that is completely their prerogative. In fact, if you watch the video that I suggested at the beginning, you'll find that that was my reaction to R. Kelly and Louis C.K. But, and I guess this is probably my lukewarm take of the video, I don't think that anyone is morally required to stop enjoying things that are made by bad people. Now, about Neil deGrasse Tyson specifically, the alleged assault happened over 30 years ago. And obviously, I don't think that a person should have to continuously answer for something that they did a long time ago when they were a different person. person, assuming that they have grown and changed and become better. However, if you did something that hurt someone else, you should definitely own up to it and admit to it and do everything in your power to ease that pain that you caused that person. So if these allegations are true, it definitely seems that Tyson has failed to do that. Now you notice that I'm refraining from using the phrase innocent until proven guilty, which is a common thing that you hear in conversations about sexual assault allegations, even from well-meaning people. I don't use this phrase because I think that unless you are a judge or a lawyer or a member of a jury that is assigned to this case specifically, innocent until proven guilty is irrelevant to you. I've used similar analogies before, but say if a woman comes up to you and says, hey, I need your help. There's someone following me. I think they might be trying to hurt me. Can you please help me? I'm guessing that most of you are not going to say, I need more evidence, innocent until proven guilty, because that would make you an asshole. Since we're not participating in a courtroom situation, it's not our job to determine who is innocent and who is guilty. It's our job to show compassion to our fellow human beings when they come to us for help. Sometimes people lie. Yes, that is true. Rarely when it comes to sexual assault, as has been shown in many studies. But even considering the fact that it happens sometimes, I still don't think that absolves you of your obligation to be a decent human being. So when people say, I believe the victim, that is not necessarily the same thing as saying, I have determined that the person the victim accused is guilty of the crime of sexual assault. Personally, when I say things like believe women or believe whoever, I'm not even really thinking about the person who was accused. I don't know them and I wasn't there. All I know is that someone has reached out, and I believe the duty of a compassionate person is to show support. Beyond that, situations like this are usually very complex. To reduce it down to either things happen 100% the way that she said, or she's definitely lying and the accused is 100% innocent, that just sounds like an unlikely dichotomy. So I believe Tachia Ahmed, and I hope that more people get to hear her story. As for Neil deGrasse Tyson, I don't know him, and I wasn't there. If he's guilty of wrongdoing, he should definitely admit it and possibly face justice. But making that part happen is outside of the scope of my and probably most of yours practical capability. And if you feel that this makes you unable to enjoy Tyson's work, that's perfectly fine, and you shouldn't feel weird about that. As I've mentioned before, I've begun to completely separate my admiration for a person's character from my admiration for their work. Unless it seems to me that their work is directly inspired or informed by the shitty aspects of their behavior, as in the case of R. Kelly and Louis C.K. I don't feel this way as of yet about Neil deGrasse Tyson, but who knows what'll happen in the future. That's just me though. What do you think? If you would like to ask a question or make a comment, call the number on your screen and leave me a voicemail, and maybe I'll respond to it in a future video. And if you would like to support this channel and make it even better, consider becoming a patron on Patreon. Even $1 a month goes a very long way. Big shout outs to all of my existing patrons, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.